Sir, we are live, sir.
Okay. Welcome to all. This Zoom program regarding our brother and best friend Gandham Chandrudu, IAS from Andhra Pradesh cadre. He went to Harvard University to studies on his interested subjects, basically social science and all those things. This is a very prestigious broad study. Harvard University is a very famous for the intellectual congregation, intellectual based university. And this we are all opportunity to listen Gandham Chandrudu about his life and his journey, about education and his IAS cadre. Then he did so many things in Andhra Pradesh, in Anantapur, as a secretary of scheduled caste welfare department. And then he not only that, he very much interested and very much concerned to develop Dalits and other backward communities and poor people. And his background also from very poor Dalit family. That's why we are very proud of him and very opportunity to listen to him. Then another thing is, so many students and scholars, they are very interested to go to Harvard and Columbia University. In that context also, his experience will help to understand how abroad studies and the teaching and universities functioning, and what are the differences between our country and other countries like USA studies. What are the inspiration if we went to there and we can get the inspiration from other universities. That his life and his experience also very need to know our young people and our employees and our officers. I am very proud of you, Chandrudu. You are very not only our friend, he is a very human touch heart. That is very important to anybody to understand the society. That's he had. Thank you very much. You are with us. And this program, this lecture will coordinate by my brother and friend Anand Kumar Bolimera. He is a Change Alliance very what is the important functionary. He is also known for me for I think 25 years. He is also very known to social game changer. He's also, I think, he's a social activist. Not only social activist, he's a social change warrior. His life totally dedicated to the tribals and Dalits in all over India. He will coordinate this lecture because I choose Anand to coordinate because he had a best understanding with Gandham Chandrudu. Another thing is he had a best understanding of the Indian Dalits and tribals and backward people. Thank you very much. So please go with the lecture up to ending. You will understand better issues. Better understand to better all what Chandrudu got experience in his life. Thank you very much. Because I spoken little bit English, there's so many people entered from Himachal Pradesh and other Jharkhand people also. That's why I took this opportunity. Thank you very much, Chandrudu and Anand. Please coordinate thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshmana. Thank you so much. And special appreciation to you and also Center for Dalit Studies for organizing this interactive meeting with Shri Gandham Chandrudu. For me, it's a privilege, as rightly mentioned by Lakshmana. And it is not that the Chandrudu is not known to, he's well known and many people know, but still I think since I was asked to moderate, it is important that I just give a short introduction about Gandham Chandrudu, and then after that, then we can hear from him. And we all know Gandham Chandrudu is a IAS officer and Andhra Pradesh cadre, AP cadre, and he's a 2010 batch. But apart from that, prior to being the joining the Indian Administrative Service, he also worked almost 10 years with Indian Railways. And while studying, while working with Indian Railways, as a graduate, he completed his graduation, and while doing the work, he attempted to applied for the Indian Administrative Civil Services exams, and he got good rank. And then also working in a same state rank is a privilege. So over the public administration, he worked in several roles, whatever the roles, whether the small, medium, or big, but he left his stamp, his footprints. And also whether it is as a director of tribal welfare, working out, looking into the institutional issues, how one can help the Adivasi community. He also worked as a joint collector for Krishna district and also as a sub-collector for the Rampachodavaram, again, one of the most backward areas where he tried to bring. And apart from that, very important time, he also worked as an additional commissioner for the CRDA, which we all are aware of this, that's a recent one. But apart from that, I think the very important position he also held as the vice chair and the managing director of the Andhra Pradesh, so the finance corporation, what we call SC corporation. I think that point of time, he tried to connect with many people, try to understand the problems of the youth, the community, what kind of challenges face. I wish he would have continued a little more time, but very importantly, he was from there he moved to as a collector of district Anantapuram. And while he's making a huge inroads, while as a managing director, vice chair of the finance corporation, AP Finance Corporation, moving to the district collector has also become a very significant part in his life. That's the time I think the one could see how what does it mean to be an IAS officer, and how can one can create a various knowing that it's the COVID time and very difficult times, but he did a lot of initiatives which I'm not going to list because that's quite a long list. But I think the significant part is about making the communities to change, put their names what they're interested in their own habitations. Otherwise, always people live the habitation named by somebody else. But I think giving an opportunity for communities to define what kind of names they want to do it, and several such initiatives he has taken. I think during that time, he has also attracted a lot of attention, not only from the community, media, leaders, academicians, public policy holders, civil society, social movements. He warmly ended, and many people thinking that he's going to create more such opportunities, but at the same time, again, he was shifted to another department. I think that's a part of the any public officer. So, but nevertheless, I think the most important aspect is whichever the place, whether it is a short term, long term, medium term, Gandham Chandrudu always played an important role trying to help the communities who are marginalized, excluded, and try to reach and bring the governance closer to that. But while having that kind of service, people will feel satisfied because winning an IAS itself is a major feat. But he didn't stop. He's always inquisitive, try to learn new things, want to meet people, understand the problems, and take. I think that's the attractiveness that has brought him to look and also uh, sharpen his academic skills. There, he decided to take a break, go on doing a public policy at the historic Harvard Kennedy School, very prestigious in the United States of America. It's not only prestigious in US, the Harvard Institute is prestigious in a global terms. When you list the top institutes in the world, Harvard also comes very top among them. So being there to getting not only getting an admission, he got a full scholarship by virtue of his hard work and what he demonstrated as a public administrator is all good. So this particular today's interaction is to hear from him what made him to think to take a break, to go for higher studies, how important it is after having attained an IAS, and how was his experience. And after he come, he sent a message to several of our friends saying that he returned back, but he said he wished many youth students from the communities, marginalized poor community, should get an opportunity to study in institutions of eminence like Harvard and also like many other institutions. I think that has put a lot of interest. So I think it's good that we hear his views, his experience, and also it helps to motivate many young youth and also the parents to encourage the children to go for higher education. I had a very privilege of hearing him, but I thought maybe when we met, Lakshmiaji, immediately he mentioned that it's good that we have an interactive session so that he shared his experience so that both public at large, community leaders will get benefit. So with this opening comments, I would like to invite Chandrudu to share. Initially, he will share his experience, and after that, then we will take a question and answers and make it more interactive. Over to you, Gandham Chandrudu.
Thank you very much, Anand. Thank you for being giving such a high and kind words. And thank you, Malepalli Lakshmayaji and Center for Dalit Studies for giving this opportunity and conducting this program. And thank you everyone who are present here and who are going to listen in future also. So this is a great platform for me to share my experiences, and I intend to design this 30-40 minutes of interaction in the following fashion. First, a brief explanation about my story so far, my life journey so far. Then second stage, before going to Harvard, what are the processes or the timelines or the application process that is involved? And the third aspect is at Harvard, what are the things we can experience and we can see what will be the life at Harvard. And fourth can be the question and answers. So if after all this, if there are still some doubts or further clarifications or something more is required, we can attend that in the fourth phase. So the total entire session from my side will be my story so far, before Harvard, admission process, and at Harvard, and then Q&A after that. So I plan to complete all these aspects maybe around 35 minutes. Then after that, maybe we can go for question and answers for whatever time you intend to do that. So I once again thank everybody who is present in this virtual session, and also the organizer and Center for Dalit Studies, and Anand once again. Thank you for such high words. So my story so far, I come from a very rural and backward village from Kurnool district of Andhra Pradesh, which is not only backward, but it's also very remote. And it's also adjacent to Anantapur, and which is fast turning into desert. So it's a very unfertile soil. So I come from, as Malepalli Lakshmayaji has told, from socially also backward community, from the Dalit community. And I am the first generation literate in my family. So my parents could not get themselves educated, even though they wanted to get themselves educated, but the societal situations and their financial capacity induced by the social systems have prevented them from acquiring education. So I used to go to field along with my father and my mother and worked as agricultural laborer before going to school and during school days also. While during summer holidays, I worked in the fields as coolie, and that so that I can earn some money for my books and clothes. So in the schools at my village, so you might be aware of the social systems and the other conditions where the children from Dalit background are made to sit at a distance in the corner, and there were no benches or no tables. And I have experienced all that stuff. Luckily, there was some teacher who has seen some spark or promise in me, and he has suggested and take active steps to see that I go to the better schools. So he ensured that I go to Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, which are better schools, which provide good education for the rural children. So he filled the application and helped me in the coaching. So I was one of the lucky persons who got admitted in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya through a common selection test. So the difference between the rural school at the village and the Navodaya Vidyalaya, there was no system of segregating the children and making them to sit at a corner or at the back benches. It was all open, and everybody used to sit according to their height, and that too on the benches. So Navodaya school has for the first time shown me what equality or the kind of freedom looks like. Then study at Navodaya Vidyalayas have also provided decent food and proper study hours, and the foundation for future good life or good knowledge has been laid at Navodaya Vidyalaya. But unfortunately, our financial condition was not so good to continue further education. So my parents have to choose out of 3 children whose education to be continued and whose education to be stopped. So because I was doing good in the studies, academics, my parents have decided that they will drop my elder brother's education, and he also works, and so that they can contribute for my education. So after some times that was also not enough. I had to choose for some employment, whichever pays me a little bit amount, so that I can sort of continue further education in future. So I had to choose Indian Railways. I appeared for Railway Recruitment Board in South Central Railway, and out of 80 students who have appeared for that exam, I was the only one who got selected. So that was in the 10th grade. So as soon as it's a vocational course, wherein job-linked vocational course, along with 11th grade and 12th grade subjects, they also teach railway subjects. And after completion of 12th grade, we were absorbed into railway jobs as ticket collectors. So I got into railways as ticket collector, and then since my 18th year, I was working. Because I could not go to regular college, regular degree, so I had to do my graduation through distance mode from Indira Gandhi National Open University, which I did successfully. And after that, I also did my post-graduation again in distance mode, online education. So that also in Indira Gandhi National Open University. So there is a belief that online education or the distance mode is not as good as the regular college, and it is looked down. But with that, I have competed for civil services exam, and I could successfully got into India's highest service, Indian Administrative Service, and also not only getting into Indian Administrative Service, but also got home cadre, that is within the same state, which is very rare. Unless and until you are top in the league, people will not get home cadre. I was fortunate. Then in my childhood, that is before 10th grade or before Navodaya school, in the village, the people were telling that they were scolding or reprimanding my parents, saying that why you are sending your child to school. This boy is working well, let him continue in the field as agricultural laborer or coolie. So you are unnecessarily spending and wasting your time. But my parents have defied those reprimand orders, and they have defied many. They were people used to tell that why you fellows want to get educated. So that was the kind of system which I have gone through, and fortunately, because of good systems like Navodaya Vidyalaya and good teachers like who has helped me to apply for Navodaya selection test, and also some good systems, I could successfully overcome those discouragement or in sort of prohibition, and then got a good education in Navodaya Vidyalayas, and also got a railway job, and then I have got into Indian Administrative Service. And since 2010, I am working with the Indian Administrative Service. I have worked in various capacities so far, and directly and indirectly, maybe a million people might have, million families might have impacted directly or indirectly by my work. And I am continuing that work with that human touch. So that was my personal story. Then coming to this Harvard, these two things have motivated me to go for higher education. One, when I was a child, as I told you, there were people from the upper strata saying that why you fellows want education. So there were always reprimands to my parents saying that don't send this boy to school. So I always wanted to have the highest possible education so that I can defy those reprimands or commands. So that was there always in my mind. And second thing, I wanted to see how the good education can be. So I wanted to go to the top university in the world. So that was my personal motivation. And second professional motivation is that, so I want to have higher education so that I can get good administrative opportunities in government of Andhra Pradesh as well as government of India in future. So that's why I have decided that I should pursue my higher education. That's the two motivations which made me to pursue this. So before going to Harvard, the application process, I will briefly explain about what are the things they look for in a candidate for selecting. So basically, more than the academic performance, they also look for overall personality of the applicants. So they look for how this person is going to help other people or make the country better, so that the academy can train them in a better way. So it's an overall personality, overall profile that they look at. So the timelines usually start, the application process starts in September, and December will be the December first week or November last week will be the deadline for application for the course which I have applied. I am not sure about other universities or other courses. In Harvard, I have studied at Harvard Kennedy School. So I did the Masters in Public Administration along with Mason Fellowship in Public Policy. So one fellowship and one master's degree. So for this particular course, the application process starts somewhere in the first week of September and ends in the last week of November or first week of December. And financial application, that is applications for scholarship or fellowship, the deadline would be mid-January. And the decisions, financial decisions as well as admission decisions will be communicated back to us by mid or end of March. Usually they ask for various essays. So the essays include the statement of purpose, why you want to study and what is that your life mission or what do you want to do. Then perspectives essay, where they will be asking what are the incidents in your life which have changed your perspectives drastically. Then they will also see the CV, then quantitative statement, and whatever you have done, you have to put in quantitative terms. The impact in terms of changes in the people's lives, or the numbers, basically quantitative statement. Then expectations essay, where what are your expectations from this study. Then personal history essay, where you'll be mentioning about the personal history of yourself and stuff. And professional contribution, as a professional in IAS or whatever field you are in, what is your contribution so far? These are the various kinds of essays we are supposed to write. Usually people take 6 months or even more than 1 year to prepare these kind of essays. The statement of purpose is very crucial. They basically check the overall personality of the applicant. More than 80,000 applications go every year for this particular course, out of which less than some 200-300 get selected. So the admission percentage is very, very less, very, very less. Then a applicant also have to submit 3 references. So one from your immediate superior or supervisor in the job, and 2 letters from academic reputed personnel, and also somebody known internationally. Then they conduct a pre-admission guidance. Once you are admitted, there will be a lot of webinars and sessions. When your admission is confirmed, they will be providing a lot of information and guidance as to what are the things to be done. Even before that, as soon as you apply, if there are any doubts in the application process or anything, there will be various sessions. That way, it is very student friendly. Then we are supposed to submit transcriptions, that is our original certificates from the respective institutions. Not only the certificates we send as the scanned copies, but also from the institution. Say, for example, I did my master's from Indira Gandhi National Open University. So Indira Gandhi National Open University has to communicate to Harvard directly, saying that this person has done his master's so year. So the transcripts have to go from the institution to Harvard directly. So we have to request the institutions here through mail or through personally going there, saying that I have applied here and I got admission. Please send my transcript over to Harvard. Then these are the various steps. The visa process would be not much difficult once you are admitted or got admission offer of admission. There will be various provisions for expedition of visa granting and other stuff. That would be that will happen. Then for future students, if you are looking, these are the parameters. Or if you are looking for future, that is your children or future generation. So building the profile of the child, right from childhood would be very important. Building profile in the sense, making his or her personality to look very diversified. Like they are good not only in academics, but also in other than academic areas like sports, like mountaineering, or music, or social works, or extracurricular activities, or participation in outside, say, relief and rehabilitation activities whenever there is some calamity. So these kind of activities would develop the overall profile of the child. If you are looking for somebody in the future, if these things are taken care, that would be really helpful. These are the things that are given some sort of weightage and overall in the overall assessment. So these are the things before going to Harvard. And at Harvard, once you get admission and you start, the course I have done is Masters in Public Administration. This is 1 year master's degree course. Usually master's degree is for 2 years, but for busy professionals like IAS officers or those who are working in the media, those who are working in the political system or in the NGO sector or being the CEOs in the business field, for such kind of people, this 2-year course is concised into 1 year. So first 2 months will be a summer program. Basically, that is considered to be the first year course. And entire session is stuffed, like 2 years course is stuffed into 1 year. So academically, it would be very, very hectic. So this particular course is designed in such a way. Otherwise, a regular course will be a 2-year program. So at Harvard, in the classroom, there would be a lot of participation is encouraged, and discussion oriented sessions would be there. So you are supposed to, the admitted student is supposed to prepare study material will be given in advance. The overall structure, course material, everything will be provided in your, there is something called as Canvas. So on that, every student will have a Canvas account, and the total course material and each day's study material, everything is provided. We are supposed to go through all that material, prepare ourselves well, and go to the class. And in the class, directly it will be a discussion oriented or participation oriented kind of class. So participation is more
Hello. Please wait. I think there seems to be some connection.
Anand, what happening? Anand.
Sir, it's showing as connected, but
Anand. Contact Jayok, sir. Hello.
I think it got disconnected and again connected. So am I audible now?
Yes. Please continue.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. And there is a huge diversity at Harvard. So there were people from 59 different countries in the master's program, and in the Mason Fellowship in Public Policy, there were people from 41 different countries. So such kind of huge diversity where you can learn just by knowing them and interacting with them. And interacting with different backgrounds, not only from different regions, but people from different fields, the politicians, or the administrators, or the media people, or the NGOs, or the business people. It's a huge diversity. So by interacting, and we can learn a lot of things, and we can learn about their culture, their experiences, stuff. Then the academic year is divided into 2 semesters. So fall semester, which starts on last week of August or first week of September, and ends with ends in December. And second semester starts in second week of January and ends in May second week. So there will be 2 semesters. So in each semester, we are supposed to take different courses, where all the courses in my particular program, this Masters in Public Administration, are electives. Electives means where I can choose the courses, where the candidate or admitted the student can choose the courses. In the entire Harvard, there were more than 10,800 courses, out of which for a student to get his master's degree, one has to complete 8 courses of 4 credits each, so 32 credits. So from 10,800 to 8 courses we have to choose. That's a huge choice, and whatever field we are interested in, we can choose accordingly. Then there will be modules, 2 credit courses, which we can do simultaneously. Then the course design would be such that there will not be any final exam, very little of final exams, but there will be assignments or reflections or projects or group works. So basically every day there will be some work, the reflections and assignments. Before you start the class at 9 o'clock, you are expected to submit the assignment, and it will be graded immediately. So there will be huge academic rigor in that. Then there are various student bodies where you can participate. There will be student bodies on climate change or political action, or business activities, or race and racism, or women issues, democracy, equality. There are numerous student bodies, and you can any 4 or 5 students can also start new student body, which will be funded by Harvard. So if the students are interested in other than regular coursework, they can join or they can start, and they can actually conduct or invite speakers from outside, and funding will be given for that. And there will be guest speakers or guest sessions. There will be too many sessions will be happening simultaneously, and you would be surprised to know that everything seems so important and so good. So we'll be like, have to be very, very choosy, very, very specific in choosing, because there are thousands of each day, there will be some 4 or 5 sessions apart from your regular academic class and course. So if you have to attend, you are interested in certain things, you have to make time for it. And it's very difficult when there is too much of a choice, like it's a buffet, like, too many options would be there, and we'll be very choosy in selecting what to eat. Then course selection, I have already told. There might be some courses which are over subscribed, like because of the demand. There might be people asking for getting admitted in the same course. So for that, there is a bidding system where each student will be given some 1,000 points. If you are interested, if you are so particular that one should get that course, you have to bid and get it. So what to bid and what not to bid, how to choose the courses, it's a that will decide whether you are admitted for that particular course or not. Then there will be cross registration system. So basically in Harvard, there are 12 schools: Harvard Kennedy School, Harvard Business School, Harvard Law School, Harvard Divinity School, Harvard Design School, Harvard Medical School. Like that, there are 12 schools. And also there are other universities like MIT, Fletcher, Brandeis, Mass University. There are too many universities in Boston and Cambridge area. So where the students are given or have the option to study in other universities also. So you can simultaneously study in Harvard and also simultaneously study in MIT. So you can do 1 or 2 courses depending upon your interest and time and your capacity. So like in that process, I also did 1 course from Harvard Law School. So which is another good experience student might be benefiting. And I also did initially, I have chosen MIT also. Subsequently, because of the coursework, I had to come out of that and reduce my course load. So which courses you want to study or where you want to study. Then there will be various other activities students might be conducting as a part of the student organized groups or as a random grouping, like going on hiking or going on visiting some places. There will be and they are usually called as treks to different countries. Like people can go to France, Germany, Israel, Palestine, Brazil, China, India. So there will be various visits of different countries. That will be mostly student organized treks. The visits, they are called as treks in Harvard language. So basically, there will be subsidized rates would be there. So some funding will come from various agencies, and it would be usually 1 week to 10 days, depending upon the country and the management. So there are opportunities to visit different countries at subsidized rates from Harvard. Harvard doesn't sponsor that, but facilitates those kind of trips. Then outside Harvard, there are other facilities which are very useful. The library system. Boston library system, which is the biggest library system in the world, even bigger than Harvard library system. So more than 60 libraries are there in Harvard, and there are other library systems of various universities. And apart from universities, there are libraries of Boston city. So you can become a member at free of cost. And once you have Harvard library membership, you can go to any library systems there, and you can access any material. So even as a student, we can access, and post completion of the course also, as an alumni of that institution, you can have opportunity to continue to have access to those materials. And there are so many museums there. There will not be any fee at all. So museums are free. If you intend to take children or other family members, they can go at concessional rates. And transportation, there will be transportation for Harvard students and they are available at concessional rates. And the other best thing is, at any point of time, whether it is 1 o'clock in the night or 3 o'clock in the night, the transportation is available. And by simply making, if you are stranded somewhere or got struck, you can simply make a call to some given number, and the bus will be there in 10 to 15 minutes. So those kind of supportive systems, the libraries, the museums, the transportation system, and the banks. Regarding finance, I forgot to mention this point. So finance is one big concern. So once you get admission, the Harvard Cooperative Credit Society there, that itself offers 20,000 USD as a collateral-free loan at a very less interest rate. Comparatively, it would be much lesser than the educational loans offered in India. Then if you have some collateral, they give up to $50,000 also. And the opportunities, the employment opportunities post graduation would be very high. So the student or the parents need not worry about how to repay back that loan or the educational, the amount that is being spent. So once you are graduated, the opportunities at IMF or World Bank or various international agencies, there are too many opportunities. And with Harvard tag, it is very easy to get employment or scholarship or other opportunities, and it would be within 1 year, entire loan can be paid back, and you would be having a decent life there. So my understanding of the whole situation is the parents or the students, if you are intending to send or go, you need not worry much about the financial aspect of it. Then weather would be little difficult. It's very tough. So the temperatures sometimes the winter starts somewhere in mid-October and it continues till mid-April. So it would be very difficult, and we have to prepare for that. So it will be snowing most of the time from November end onwards till March end. It would be snowing, and that might cause some little bit health problems. We have to prepare for that. And there can be so many activities a student can do. Like there are so many things to visit during Saturdays and Sundays during the weekends. There are local activities like visiting fall colors or apple picking or going hiking, kayaking, or there are games and sports which will be going on and you can go and see. Then there are some community people or friends also who would be, I have benefited through the community help. A lot of people have helped me in my shopping or by taking me out, just making me feel comfortable in that new environment. So that kind of support would always be there. And there are support systems in the administration itself, in the Harvard itself. support systems like meeting the professors and telling whatever issues we have, whatever problems we are facing. So more professors and the administrator would be more than willing to help us. So the systems are good. They would be like, help will come our way if we have some problem. And non-academic support systems are also there. Like if there are women students, or they have absolute safety there, and harassment is not tolerated at all, either in the institution or outside the institution. Anybody doing some harassment or something, their life is gone. Life is gone in the US. So that kind of fear and better systems are there. So if my sister or our children are going there, we need not worry about their safety. There are various systems to take care of that thing. And there will be medical facilities where if you take the insurance, most of the services would be provided free of cost, and insurance also would be not so costly. And the medical help also reasonably good. Then if there are any specific needs, like not having proper English language skills, or if there are any special needs like hearing needs or vision needs, those things usually they ask for if we have any specific needs, and those things are properly taken care. So basically, you can just ask for help and you will get it. So even if you want to, you cannot see from a distance, you want to sit at the front bench, you can simply send okay, I cannot see things from a distance, put me at the front row. Or you want to sit at a back row, put me at a back row. So those things would be considered, or any other needs also would be considered, and help will come our way. Then there are various places one can visit within Boston or Massachusetts or Cambridge area. And also outside Boston is just 2-3 hours from New York, 4 hours from New York, and another 2 hours to Washington. And there are places to visit like Niagara and New Jersey. So there are so many good places, but unfortunately time would not be available for the students, because the academic rigor would be so heavy. It would not be will not be having much time to spend for other activities. But if somebody can manage that stuff, the life would be so smooth. So this is from my side. I have shared my story before going to Harvard and at Harvard. So if there are any questions or anything, I stop here. I hope I have covered most of the things. There might be so many other things. Yeah, if there is anything or any further questions or clarifications, the floor is open. Thank you.
Thank you, Gandham Chandrudu. Thank you so much. Such a very elaborated. In a way, one could see that as if we are there in the campus, what kind of activities, how one can do that. So very informative. Thank you so much for sharing. In the meantime, I would like to request participants, if you have any specific questions or even a comment, anything, please try to post it on Zoom. Or if it is, if any comments coming on the YouTube, I request Ramu to paste it here so that I can do that. There's a one specific question. How many Indians were there with you, with those 200, 300 students? Were there any students from Telugu background as well?
Yeah. So the cohort strength was 243, out of which 24 were Indian students. So out of those 24, I think I am the only person from Telugu background. So yeah. So there were Telugu students in different courses, but from this particular course, I was the only person. So usually the largest contingent would be from USA, and second largest contingent would be from India, because of the size of our country and the population. And other countries where more students would be there are Nigeria, then Brazil, then Israel, So usually something like 8 to 10 students. Entire African continent put together, there would be around 50 or 45 to 50 students. So usually it would be like this. US contingent would be more. Second highest would be India, then some China, then Africa as a whole, or different countries like Brazil, Argentina, Nigeria, Kazakhstan. So these are the countries where more number of students would be there.
Thank you. Second, another question that had come in terms of the finance. Can you open a bank account in the university? Can you handle your or use your Indian credit cards, debit cards there? One specific practical question. Would you like to take it now?
Yes, yes. Yeah, that is very, very pertinent and important question. Thank you for asking that. So for my experience of opening a bank account in the US and getting loan in the US was far more easier than getting loan from some local bank here. So with 3 mails, I could get a loan. So basically you have to express your interest. There will be a website, Harvard Employees Credit Union, and most of the universities like Columbia or even Stanford, they have their respective employees credit unions. So once you go there, you can just create an account, and then you can apply for loan. They will be asking some certain documents. Once you submit those documents, and your loan will be either sanctioned or rejected based on the merits, and the amount would be dispersed at different intervals depending upon the amount. So the process would be very easy. I would not say it is simple, but it would be very easy. The comfort level would be very easy. I try to take, I have taken loan also from one of the banks here. So the experience was it was much difficult than taking loan from US. So it would be very easy.
Thank you. And I think one important significant part you mentioned that once you get an admission, you have credit systems, cooperative systems, various other facilities where students can raise loan, and that too at a very affordable, very low rate. I think that's most important when many people from marginalized poor background would like to pursue making the education affordable. Because normally we think US means it's a very cost, very difficult to get into that. But I think very interesting from your experience to know that the affordability and having access, credit access to pursue the education for the students is, I think, very important critical aspect. I think as a public administrator, I think that's also good for the those who are into the public domain. How to make the higher education both affordable and also able to access the credit to those who want to pursue. I think that's a very important insights that you have taken. Coming back, Chandrudu also said that you have gone, there are places you go on a trekking. So which country you have opted? Did you get any significant insights? What does it mean that visit means? That's the one question I would like to ask you. And second thing, you also said there are different cohorts in which students pursue racism. You said that similarly, women empowerment. Like that, I know that USC's 22-23 is coming quite from a very huge debate in and around issues of racism, and all these issues are coming up. So how do you see that the issues of race or other disinformed debates are informed about the Indian realities? Would you like to take that as well?
Yeah. These are very, very important questions. Thank you for asking those questions. So let me detail you regarding the financial aspects a little bit more. I'll share my experiences. The total fee for the course I have done was $85,000, and the living expenses would be somewhere around some $30,000 to $40,000. So total it would come around $125,000 to $130,000. So out of which I got 75% of the fee as a scholarship. So usually getting admission is difficult and getting scholarship is much difficult. But I was one of those fortunate persons who got that scholarship. And remaining amount I had to manage myself. So as I have narrated, so once you complete the course, the student completes the course, there will be numerous opportunities to get a job or employment in the initial stages itself. As soon as you complete, there are opportunities, and repaying back that amount would be much easier. So it would not be, the prospective candidates need not worry about the financial aspect much. So it would be expensive, but there are also opportunities to repay back those expenses and the loans taken. And so the kind of education that we get there is completely the overall perspective change it brings in the person, or the opportunities to which the candidate is exposed to radically changes. The students can see much bigger opportunities and much bigger avenues for himself or herself. So it would be worth taking that kind of risk to, even at that expensive rates, it is better to pursue the kind of education. And as like our founding father, Baba Saheb Ambedkar has told, not only having education, having higher education is more important. So I would reiterate that so we should be able to take that decision. That is the first part. Coming to the second part regarding the trek to different countries, I have chosen to go to one country. Like, there are so many opportunities. People go to 4, 5 or multiple countries. But again, because of my financial condition, I could not go to many treks. So I could go to only one trek, that is to Israel. And it was a 10-day trek. During the semester course, there would be a break of usually 1 week to 10 days. During that break, I have visited Israel along with other students. So out of 1,000 students in Harvard Kennedy School, more than 200 students were there in that trek. I was one among them. So what I could see in Israel, even though it is a small country, it is just 27,000 square kilometers with around 6 or 7 million, 60 or 70 million. So, but the kind of new initiatives are the startups. The Israel economy or the government gets around 25% of its revenue from startups. And that is something very huge. We have our Indian population, majority of the population in the youth, that is between 18 and 39 age group. So there are a lot of talent and a lot of initiatives can be taken up. If there is a right environment and the right environment is provided, ecosystems are provided, there is a lot of scope for us to learn from that kind of perspectives and then contribute for the economy. That is one thing I have seen. And also certain experiences at Harvard or in the Israel, where people or the systems encourage you to do your own things. So they don't depend on others to do certain stuff. The labor is valued, and the systems are teach the value of labor, or we start to respect the people. There is no contempt or looking down at certain professions is not there. Everybody is sort of looked equally. So those kind of perspective change, unless and until we see for ourselves in person, may not be coming to people naturally. So those things have really helped, and they will really help the students. Coming to the third part, various student organizations. So yes, there is a lot of discussions are happening around so many things, and out of which race and racism and colonialism, that is nowadays dominating the world narrative because of the kind of students. So I would say Harvard gives a sort of preference. So in my cohort, the gender balance was like, around 50 to 48. That's very huge. It's almost equal. No other institute, I don't know about other institutions, but the gender parity was there. Similarly, the admission to people from global south, usually coming from South American countries and other countries, is like sort of encouraged. So that brings a lot of diversity in the classroom and outside the classroom. Usually that brings also the various aspects into discussion in the Harvard and in the classroom, which gets reflected in the student bodies also. So important people are those who are at different international bodies are called as guest speakers by the student organizations. So that throws a lot of light on various aspects. So that will be very informative and very perspective changing. And student bodies are basically encouraged in the Harvard. They are financed, funded, certain funding will be given for conducting of such activities. So which is sort of a very good thing. So yeah, there is a lot of churning that is happening, and your free thinking and innovative thinking is always encouraged. Open up, speaking up is encouraged rather than like teacher or the professor asking students to keep quiet, or like whenever answer only when asked. From that kind of culture, it's always like students guiding the discussion. So you are expected to prepare yourselves with the material and go and speak. It would be discussion based classroom, and it would be in case study method, where you would be given different roles. So, and then you are expected to negotiate with other parties. I can say one example, like our Naxalite issue. So if you are the home minister, or if you are the leader of the Naxalites, or if you are a professor negotiating between these people, or if you are an NGO, so how would you sort of deal with that kind of situations? So different perspectives will be given, and you will be assigned a role, and you are expected to negotiate with other constituents, and then come to a sort of decision among yourself. That kind of case study methods are encouraged, where your participation and intentional participation is encouraged. Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking this each questions quite elaborately. I know many people are also attending using mobile phones. Those who are unable to type the questions, in case if you want to ask, please switch on your mic and video, and feel free to ask any particular question to Mr. Chandrudu. Otherwise, in the meantime, before anybody else open up, I would like to ask one more question. You also mentioned one of the objective is how this pursuing a higher education would help you to enhance your effectiveness in your job as an IAS officer. So, do you think that the insights that you have gained and the experiences you got it through this particular course, how much that it will help you to become much more effective IAS officer?
Yeah, that is again very deeper question, and thank you for asking. There are at least I can say two aspects where there can be immediate change in my own perspective of how I can deal with various issues. So definitely, say for example, education system. So where the community involvement in our present education system is not much, even though there is legally and as per the acts, there is community involvement in the education at the primary and up to intermediate level. But in different countries, we can learn about various systems where there are school boards, where there are elected people are there in the school boards, how they manage the appointment of teachers or the regular activities of the schools in their respective educational districts. So that kind of systems we can practically see and how they are functioning well. And we can sort of replicate those kind of systems according to our own requirements by tweaking or modifying them to suit locally. And infusion of technology. Another example can be infusion of technology. There are various processes or various interactions where public would be dealing with the administration. So this process, prior to the technology we were doing through papers and files, now we are doing through computers and e-files. But the process simplification has not happened much. The same thing we are doing, but there can be process simplification. So business reorganization, basically. So infusion of technology for the welfare of the people or for the welfare of various sections, be it the business people, be it the marginalized sections, be it NGO community, that can be taken up on a very large scale. So being exposed to those kind of good systems will give more confidence and more tools and more familiarity and ease at implementing that kind of systems back home. So as an administrator, I think I have benefited a lot, and whatever post I will be, so these things can be tried, and we can make things, the interactions between people and government much easier and much simpler.
Thank you, Chandrudu. Anybody would like to ask any questions, please switch on your mic and video. Feel free to, if you can ask, if you want to ask in Telugu, I encourage you to please ask, or in your own mother tongue, please feel free to. I'll wait for a minute. Good to see Santosh also join. Yes, Santosh.
Novanna, thank you very much, and it's so delighting to hear Brother Chandrudu's journey, and I'm well aware actually, but I just wanted to, it's a comment, not a question.
Please, go ahead.
Heartily congratulations for your all achievements. I'm sure you are inspired and you are being inspiring others, and you are an asset to the community and inspiration to many young generation and even contemporaries. I asked that question about account because I have been going next month. Yeah, so that's a wonderful experience you narrated, and also not just as an administrator, but I felt often there are very few administrative officers who are really engaged with the intellectual knowledge production, and therefore, as Anand rightly said, how that will really enhance your services. Trying to do that, I certainly quote Rajshekhar is one of the man who is really engaging, and then I see you as a man who is engaging with the knowledge system and the interpreting the system and also serving better. And apart from Indian, we share a particular location in Indian society, and that matters a lot to achieve such heights. So very heartily congratulations, sir, and we all are very proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Santosh, and I'm so glad I can see you in this webinar. And so all the very best for your trip to other country. So thank you for that wonderful comment. Yes, there are so many advantages of getting exposed to certain systems or ways of life. So that always helps. Thank you.
Thank you. Janardhan Garu, please. Matlad.
సార్ నమస్కారం అండి. నా పేరు జనార్దన్, జనార్దన్, సిద్దిపేట నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నా సార్, తెలంగాణ. చంద్రుడు సార్ని చూడడం చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది. సారు ట్రైనింగ్ పీరియడ్ అంతా కూడా ఇక్కడే చేశారు. సార్ గురించి వార్తలు రాసే అవకాశం నాకు దక్కడం చాలా సంతోషంగా భావిస్తున్నాను సార్. సార్ చేసిన చాలా మంచి యాక్టివిటీస్, అంటే అప్పుడే వచ్చిన శిక్షణ పొందుతున్న సమయంలోనే ఒక హాస్టల్ వార్డెన్, ఒక ఎస్సీ హాస్టల్ వార్డెన్ సస్పెండ్ చేయించారు. ఈజీఎస్ లేబర్ కు జరుగుతున్న అన్యాయాన్ని అక్కడే పసిగట్టి ఒక టెక్నికల్ అసిస్టెంట్ ని రిమూవ్ చేయించారు. తర్వాత ఒక డిప్యూటీ తహసీల్దార్ ని కూడా, కరప్షన్ పాల్పడుతున్న ఒక డిప్యూటీ తహసీల్దార్ గారిని కూడా సస్పెండ్ చేయించడం, ఇట్లాంటి నేను చాలా దగ్గర ఉండి చూసిన, సార్తో జర్నీ చేసిన, సార్ శిక్షణ పొందినన్ని రోజులు కూడా సార్తో నేను తిరిగినాను. నేను ఆంధ్రజ్యోతిలో జర్నలిస్ట్ గా పనిచేస్తూ సార్ను ఒక వేదిక మీదుగా తన స్టోరీ విన్నా నేను. మేబీ అది బంధు సొసైటీ ఆర్ అదర్ దెన్ ఒక సొసైటీ వేదిక ద్వారా సార్ తన స్టోరీ చెప్తే అప్పుడు ఆశ్చర్యపోయినా, అమ్మా నేను ఇంత పెద్ద సార్తోని, ఇలాంటి గొప్ప వ్యక్తితో నేను పనిచేసిన. సార్తో పనిచేసినప్పుడు మాత్రం తెలియదు నాకు, అంటే సారే కమ్యూనిటీ నేనే కమ్యూనిటీ అనేది తెలియదు. కానీ సారు గురించి విన్న తర్వాత అప్పుడు తెలిసింది, ఎప్పుడైనా కలవాలి సార్ను అని అనుకున్నా. కానీ ఈ రోజు వర్చువల్ ద్వారా అవకాశం దొరకడం చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది. సార్ మీరు ఇంకా మన సొసైటీకి ఇంకా గొప్ప సర్వీస్ ఇస్తారని చెప్పేసి ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాం. మేము తెలంగాణలో దళిత జర్నలిస్ట్ గా ఒక సొసైటీగా ఏర్పడినాం. లక్ష్మయ్య సార్ ఆధ్వర్యంలో ఐడిజే అని ఇంటర్నేషనల్ దళిత్ జర్నలిస్ట్ నెట్వర్క్ అనే దాన్ని రన్ చేస్తా ఉన్నాం. కాబట్టి మీ నుంచి మా సొసైటీకి, నెట్వర్క్ కి చాలా సేవలు తీసుకుంటామని చెప్పేసి అనిపిస్తుంది. తప్పకుండా మీ సేవలు మేము వినియోగించుకుంటాం సార్. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ సార్.
Thank you, Janardhan garu. Thank you for those recollecting those memories and reminding me. So yeah, I remember one or two things, but I don't remember other stuff. But that is good that you have already started the International Dalit Journalist Forum and doing good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Janardhan. I think not only the strong actions he has taken, I think Chandrudu also done many other things. But today's purpose is to understand what does it mean studying in Harvard University, how one can avail opportunities. And also, I think the key message, what he said, no, we need to encourage our kids, our children, to anybody who is interested to pursue, not only young people, but also those even at this age. That's what I mentioned. Being an IAS means, which many people think it's the most important thing to get into that. But still he didn't rest. He want to pursue. There is a thrust for doing higher education. I think that's the message. We need to encourage our kids and make them make use of such opportunities to study. And apart from that, if anybody else want to ask any questions, please switch on your mic, your video, feel free to ask. And because we plan to close it in another 5 minutes, I can take only one question.
But thank you, Chandrudu. It's a very good experience you narrated. Then you should guide the people, whoever interested to go US and social sciences, not in technical science, whatever. There are so many things are there. But I think rightly said, Santosh, Rajshekhar is our role model in civil administration. I think you are there on the path of all those things. Thank you very much. It could be very good experience. Another thing is, I want to ask you, you should record in Telugu also. I will ask my friends to do in some other day. Record and put in YouTube. Why? Because so many people didn't follow English seriously. I think you should oblige my request to do. I will ask to my colleague Ramu should do all these things. We can put in YouTube. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lakshmana.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you for this opportunity, and sure, I will be always there for any students who want to pursue their higher education, or the parents or other people who wants any sort of support or assistance from my side, I'll be doing that. And regarding in Telugu, yes, let us do that. I am.
You will prepare 30 minutes.
Lakshmణ sir. Lakshmణ sir.
Hello. Sir.
లక్ష్మణ్ సార్.
చెప్పండి.
నేను కూడా చంద్రుడు సార్ గురించి పేపర్ లో బాగా చదివాను సార్. తను టికెట్ కలెక్టర్ గా జాయిన్ అయినప్పుడు తనకు అసలు అంబేద్కర్ గారి గురించి వీళ్ళందరూ ట్రైన్ లో నాగ్పూర్ పోతూ ఉంటే అక్కడ ఉన్న ఒక టికెట్ కలెక్టర్ చెప్పినట్టుగా తను అప్పటి వరకు తనకు అంబేద్కర్ తెలియదు అన్నట్టుగా సార్ ఆ విధంగా అంబేద్కర్ పరిచయం అయినట్టుగా పేపర్ లో చదివాను నేను కూడా చాలా. కానీ చాలా ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ ఉన్నాయి సార్. ఇది చాలా గొప్ప సందేశం అయితే నాకైతే అనిపిస్తుంది. ఇవాళ కూడా నేను హార్వర్డ్ యూనివర్సిటీ గురించి ఇవాళ కూడా పేపర్ లో చదివినాను. నన్ను ఎవరు మన చిదంబరం గారు రాశారు. పల్లని పళ్ళు కొని ఒక తెలుగు ఆంధ్రజ్యోతి డైలీలో వస్తా ఉంటుంది. అదే 1936 లో ఎస్టాబ్లిష్ చేసినట్టు. కానీ ఇంత డీటెయిల్ లేదు సార్ చెప్పిన దాంట్లో. ఇన్ని యూనివర్సిటీలు ఇన్ని స్కూల్స్ ఉన్నట్టుగా అయితే ఏం లేదు. కానీ మంచి సమాచారం.
నేను అందుకే ఏమంటున్నంటే తెలుగులో ఒక రికార్డ్ చేసి మనం యూట్యూబ్ లో పెట్టేద్దాము.
ఓకే
పెట్టేస్తే ఏంటంటే మన స్టూడెంట్స్ కి మన లోకల్ పీపుల్ కి ఉపయోగకరంగా ఉంటది. నేను రామ్ అడుగుతున్నాను. రామ్ ఆర్యన్
Ramu is there.
Ramu, have you there?
I think Ramu is there. He's watching on the. Yeah. Yes, Ram.
రాము, మీరు చంద్రుడు గారితో కోఆర్డినేట్ చేసి ఒక హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ 40 minutes రికార్డ్ చేసి తెలుగులో. రాము, సార్ తో కోఆర్డినేట్ చేసి మీరు అది చేయండి. అది మనం యూట్యూబ్ లో పెట్టేద్దాం.
ఓకే. సో
నేను ప్రొఫెషనల్ కెమెరా అదంతా అరేంజ్ చేసి నేను చేస్తాను సార్.
ఓకే రాము, we can speak.
సార్ ఎప్పుడు హైదరాబాద్ వస్తున్నాడో తెలుసుకొని.
షూర్.
సార్ హైదరాబాద్ వస్తే తెలుసుకొని రికార్డ్ చేసేసి యూట్యూబ్ లో పెట్టేసేయండి.
సరే, మంచిది. So there are so we have come to the end of this session. I have two suggestions, Mr. Chandrudu. One, if you can write a short blogs of both English that could also be converted into Hindi as well as multilingual, like we can take the help from Santosh Bhai as well. Put it so that those students who are aspiring how to study, what to enter, that can be brought into a small blogs, so that will help. That really help. Second thing, I think is Ramu CDS will do that, but I think even the journalist network can also do from a student's point of view Q&A, so that those things could also be taken, put it on the YouTube. And the third thing, which I want to put it, I come to know, but I'm not expecting due to paucity of study time. I'm not asking you to respond. I also heard a lot of Harvard University also offer a lot of free online courses. Those who cannot come to study from there. I think maybe if we can think as a way forward, can we link up Center for Dalit Studies, CDS, similarly Santosh Bhai's institutions in different parts of the country, who could use the technology, if the IT systems are there. Some of these courses could also be offered, could be linked, those who want to study online through the remotely. I think if we can able to connect to the right persons there and able to connect with the CDS and other institutions, so that some of our students could also can pursue, who cannot afford or who cannot travel all the way to the US, that can be taken up. And so I think with this, I would like to really once again congratulate you, Mr. Chandrudu. No doubt, I think this experience will certainly help you. And other following blogs, whatever that you're going to write, and other short videos that certainly help students and also motivate the parents to take it up. I think key messages from this lecture is one. However, whatever you are achieved, both academically or whatever you do, never stop learning. So continue to pursue. Higher education is important. You reminded Dr. Ambedkar, Baba Sahib, telling about how important it is to pursue higher education. And I know that I think you also visited the Columbian University, where Baba Sahib has studied there as a part of your first month or 2 months itself. You have visited, and I think that's an important that we all need to motivate kids, youth to go and pursue, not only in Harvard, wherever also. Not only in the US, across the world, wherever there's eminent institutions. Going out is always brings a new perspectives, new experiences. And thank you for inspiring us by sharing your experience. and motivating all of us. And we also hope that these experiences will help you to be more effective and much more in your work, so that we will be able to see more impact, high impact work we have already done. But as many speakers already mentioned, there are already very celebrated, very highly inspiring civil servant officers like Rashekar Lingu. You also joined. There are several such people are there. I think it's important that you continue to work, make an impact both on the community and society at the large. Thank you so much for sharing. It's quite a rich experience. I also felt I learned a lot of insights. And special thanks to Center for Dalit Studies, Lakshmi Aji, and others for organizing this lecture. And thank you for bringing many people together and able to hear it. Over to you, Lakshmi Garu. Any concluding remarks? Before Lakshmi Aji comes, Chandrudu garu, anything you want to say?
Yeah.
As a concluding, please.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for such kind words. So I have visited Columbia University 7 years back when I visited US as a tourist in 2016. So that was the first place I have went and seen the place and the library where Dr. Ambedkar used to sit. So that was my first experience of visiting that university. And even now also I wanted to go to Columbia. That was the first choice. But now Harvard is sort of higher in the rankings, and there is already path shown by some of the seniors, and there is an established path. So I have chosen this course. And Harvard is established in 1636. That is more than 380 years before. So that's a huge legacy it has. So I am fortunate to get admission there and to have support from so many of our brethren in so many things. So I thank all those people through this platform for helping me in so many ways. And because of all that support, I could complete it successfully. And I am sure that if there is right intention and right motivation, so there would be a lot of people can be supported that way. So whoever is looking for admission, or the parents or other people, we can I can tell only one thing: if we are motivated to do that, help will come your way. Universe will conspire to make you win. So thank you again, once again for organizing this, Anand and Center for Dalit Studies and Mallepalli Lakshmi Aji, and all the people who have participated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Anand and Chandrudu,
Thank you, sir.
giving this opportunity to Center for Dalit Studies to have a to tell the people our brotherhood. It will be helpful to them. Thank you, Anand. Thank you to all. We will close this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.